So I made a story about this 2003 Torch Red Mustang Mach 1. This car used to belong to one of my friends, and you can see the story of this car on my channel. I'll put the link in the description of the video so you can go watch that story if you haven't seen it. But this car has been around town for a while. When I first saw the car, it had 67,000 miles on it, and my friend had just gotten it from his grandpa for about $6,000, just because his grandpa was going to go trade it in, and that was back in 2010, back when I got my blue Mach 1. But anyway, we had been seeing this car around town. My friend had sold it, and my other friends had been sending me pictures of the car. A nice lady had bought the car, and she was enjoying it. And my friends were sending me these pictures of the car. Hey, is this your Mach 1? And I say, no, that's the other lady's car. Here it is again. Friend took this picture. Another friend took this picture, and you can see that the paint is starting to fade. The bumpers are turning pink. You're actually seeing some peeling on the hood and on the other parts of the fenders. And I knew that the car was in pretty rough shape. As a matter of fact, in my video about this car, I show you as I'm driving in my red Mach 1 that it's sitting in the side yard when the lady would visit a friend up there in the neighborhood I lived in, and so it was baking outside in the sun. This is the story of the car. You can see it's back here. This is what it looked like with the black painted hood. So that's a segment of the story about this car. But here's another time when my friend came across it and he got some better, closer pictures. He had this white Mach 1 at the time, and as you look closer at these pictures, you can see the sun is really taking a toll on the car. Paint's peeling. It was looking pretty bad. The bumpers were pretty pink now. But I went to a car show the other day, and there it was. I was excited to go up and see it, and I was talking to my friends about it as we were walking up to it, and I said, I know that the paint's been peeling on it and it's kind of in bad shape now, but as I got closer I noticed that the car was looking really good. I had recently seen it in the townhome complex where my little sister lives, and it was parked outside there, but now she has it in a garage and she has repaired the paint damage. She's repainted the front bumper and had a lot of work done to make it look really nice. And so I got to talking to her, introduced myself. She was really nice. Her friend was really nice. And I told them how I had seen the car up in the neighborhood when I lived up that way. And I showed them the video I made about this car when my friend owned it and when she owned it, and the times that my friend had seen the car. Those were all in the video, the pictures of that. And she was really excited about it. And my friend said, when we were looking at it earlier, as we walked up to it, he said, yeah, she changed the seats in it. And I said, oh, really? It doesn't have the Mach 1 seats in it anymore? And as I got closer and looked, it had some nice racing seats in the front. And so I wondered, where are the original seats to this car? And so I asked her, and she said, oh, there's a shop here in town, and they're the ones who installed the new seats for me, and they're over there at the shop. I told them they could do whatever they want with them. And so I said, okay, well, I'll go check it out. And so I tried calling later that day, but they were closed. And I was just thinking, you know, is this shop going to try to get a ton of money out of these seats, or are they going to be fair on the price? I knew that for a minimum, the interior upgrade package headrests, the IUP headrests, were worth some good money, and that I would like to have those if they're going to throw the rest of the seats away, because the lady said she got rid of the seats because they were starting to tear. So I went over to that shop, and I thought it'd probably be better if I just go in person and talk to the guy. And I asked him if he had the seats, and he said, yeah, I got them. They're in the back here. And so I went to the back sidewalk, and the driver's seat was sitting there, and it was a little torn up. And I said, well, do you want some money for them? Because I can't really go in there asking for them. The lady had given them to the shop, said they could keep them, so now they belong to them. And he said, yeah, I can sell them to you. He said, shoot me a number, you know. And so I offered him, you know, about what you'd pay for a set of junkyard seats at the pick-apart, because I've been in there and I've bought seats out of a pick-apart. I said, I'll give you what they cost to get out of a pick-apart. And he said, okay. And so I got the first seat out here by the Mach 1, and it was looking pretty good. I mean, not too bad. It could be fixed pretty easily, and I was so happy it had the headrests on them. I got a set of these headrests for my blue Mach 1, but I had looked for a long time, and it was really hard to get a set of those, so I'm always keeping an eye out for those. And if you recall, they were an option. So my Mach 1 didn't come with them, and that's why I always wanted a set. And I did get a set of 20,000 mile ones for my blue Mach 1. But anyway, I was thinking about these all weekend, hoping that they were still there at the shop or that they didn't get thrown away or who knows what's going on with them. And so I I paid the guy for them, and then he said to his worker, "Okay, go get the other one out of the dumpster," because they had already thrown the passenger seat one into the big trash dump. And I thought, if you're going to throw them away, you might as well have just given them to me. But I gave him some good money for them. It reminded me of the Gone in 60 Seconds scene when they're crushing Eleanor and they're lifting it up, and Nicolas Cage is down on his knees at gunpoint, and his friend Atlee comes out and says, "No, no, no, stop." It's just like that. I was like, no, don't throw those in the trash. I couldn't believe it. That's how I was feeling. So luckily, we got that one out of the trash. What an incredible story. I can't believe this was happening. This is really neat for Mach 1 history. So we got that one out. I put it upside down and in the front seat where it wouldn't gouge the dash or hurt anything. And the driver's seat was a little bit harder. I was planning on putting it in the trunk upside down and see if I could get it to sit with the base of it sitting upwards. But the rack was in the way, the rail on the bottom, and that was really sharp, and it was close to the bumper, and I did not want to scratch up my bumper. And so I thought, well, I've taken these seats apart before. It's just a star bit on one side and two bolts on the other side. So I walked into the shop and I asked one of the workers. He was sitting there working on something. I said, "Hey, do you have a star bit so I can just take the seat apart real quick, and I'll put it in the trunk of the car." And he didn't say anything, but he walked over and he got the tool. And I was just trying to be nice to him, and I said, "Wow, I'm glad I saved these before the trash truck came and took them." And I said, "These seats are kind of rare, especially the headrests." And he started taking it apart, and then he noticed he needed another 13 millimeter to get the other side off, and he got real mad and just snapped at me. He was like, "I don't have time for this," which, I understand. And I said, "Look, I can take it apart. It's just like 3 bolts. Just give me the tool." And he's like, "I don't know you. You ain't touching my tools." And I'm thinking, how do I know it's your tools? How do I know anything about the situation? You can at least have some decency here. I paid your boss, who pays your paycheck, for these seats. Therefore, I'm a customer. You're his worker. Let me have the tool. And I didn't say that to him, but I was thinking that. But I tried to be just nice. I've learned in the past that you pick fights with people, it just goes downhill. So here I am driving the car home, and I've got this passenger seat in the passenger seat. And I got the car home, and I had taken that other seat apart. Of course, it's in the trunk here. So here I am at the house, being very careful not to gouge anything. And I was holding this seat when I'd go on turns to make sure that it didn't tilt or hurt anything. Those brackets are very, very sharp, and they stick out when you have them in there. And even when you take the seats out of the car by themselves, there's not a lot of room. And those brackets can gouge the door panels or the A-pillar, or, there's a lot of stuff there that it can do. But look at this passenger seat. This is actually the first time I actually got to see it. It's in great shape. There's nothing wrong with this seat at all. It looks wonderful. It has the headrests on it. Man, I love this. Can't believe that they were going to throw these things away. So the other seat, like I said, is in here in 2 pieces, and it fit a lot nicer than I thought it was going to be. It was a little bit hard to get it out there. It was trying to wedge itself with the Mach audio tray, but pulling them out in 2 pieces together like this was the easiest way to get it out of there. But I was just so excited to get these. I can't believe a set of Mach 1 seats were here in town about to get thrown away. Again, I know I said that already, but this is just incredible. So without gouging the car, I got these out over to my garage, and I started evaluating them and looking them over. This button for the bolster was popped out, and it has vacuum lines on there. I know this is really hard to see. I tried to get under here the best I could, but there are these 2 plastic vacuum lines towards the back there. See, I got my fingers on them, and they make their way up over. They have this little fitting, just kind of like the vacuum lines on the engine bay would have, and those go into that button, and so I was able to get those on. And I mean, these screws were broken all the way through, so there's really not much help with that. But I did put the seat back together. I had the Torx, or the star bit, to reassemble the seat from me taking it apart. And on this other side, I've got the two 13mm bolts. So that's all it was, just taking it apart. It was pretty easy. And so looking at the seats, they're really not that bad. I mean, this one looks worse than it was. Rip this off like that, and that looks about like most of Mach 1s I've seen, with around 100,000 miles, and that's what these seats have on them. The car had about 110, 112,000 miles on it, so not even that bad. And it has been outside for a long time, but I found a couple of pennies in here. But next it turned into a little bit of a circus of me trying to pull this down up over the cushion, and I looked at the other seats to make sure that the cushion does stay there. You don't push the cushion up any higher. But I did this for a little while, and then I had my wife come out and help pull on it while I pushed down on the seat. So it just took some muscling it over there, and I got it wrapped back underneath. I don't know why that was off like that, but looks pretty good. Headrests are the same. They have kind of a weird wraparound clip on them here. I've taken these off a few times before. And a lot of times these tabs will break, and it's really no big deal. You could even glue them in place if you wanted to, but these are the interior upgrade package headrests. They are on the 03 Mach 1s as an option. The Terminators came with them. Bullet Mustang and 01 Cobras had similar ones, and the Premium GTs had as an option. So I took the tape off there. I thought some Goo Gone will get the residue off. And then next it was just plugging in those vacuum lines, which it seems like I got them. And something really interesting that I thought I would include in this video is this Mach 1's been around town basically since new. I told you my friend had bought it from his grandpa when he was done with it. But if you've seen this video of me rolling out all these wheels that I have of Mustangs that I've bought over the years, the Mach 1 wheels I have, I believe, are off this car, and they are super low mile. They still have the original Goodyear tires on them, and I'm pretty sure they came off this Mach 1. If you look closely at the picture I had earlier, you'll see that this car has a set of aftermarket bullet style wheels, and I never liked these, and I know that the original owner had taken these off when the car was new. So since my brother had originally bought the Mach 1 wheels I have that I believe that are off this car, it was years ago, it was on Craigslist locally, and like I said, they're very, very nice and still have original Goodyear tires on them with the date on them from 2003. So I'm pretty sure that I have now the wheels and the seats out of this car. And speaking of my brother came over and surprised me with a competition orange Terminator Cobra model. If you've seen these on Facebook Marketplace or the forums or the Facebook pages right now, people are buying these things up. They just started making competition orange models, and every Sam's Club that carries them is getting bought out by people who are trying to flip them and make some money off, which is fine because that's a you're in the right place at the right time kind of thing. You have the opportunity locally where you live to go pick them up, and if that's a work that you want to do and sell them, then go ahead. That's nice to have other enthusiasts get a hold of these things before 5-year-olds buy them and rip the wheels off. Although I can't say that either because I bought these models when I was younger too, and it helped me love the cars. So maybe that is kind of a bad thing that all the enthusiasts are grabbing them, because then younger generations aren't getting their hands on them. But anyway, on that side note, these are really hard to find. People are selling them for about $100, and my brother had bought two, and he brought one over and gave it to me as a surprise. He told me he had a surprise and he was coming over, and because of the way my mind works, I instantly thought, oh, I wonder if he got me a model Cobra. And I was like, don't, you're going to ruin the surprise. And I did. But I closed my eyes when he showed up, and he had his daughter hand it to me, and that was just so nice of him to give me that model car. And so I was excited to show him the seats. He was excited to give me a model car, because that's what life's about. You know, he spent some good money on this, but that's an experience I will remember forever. So here are the seats. I'll clean them up some more, but I just wanted to get them here in the garage where they can be taken care of. I'm considering putting these in my yellow Mach 1 just for daily driver use, since the ones in my yellow Mach 1 are really nice and I'm driving every day in the car. I don't really want to wear out the nice ones, so I could put these in my car for a while. There are some other options. My friend's looking to buy Mach 1, and the car he's looking at doesn't have the original front seats. It has some other weird seats. And maybe those other seats are just as comfortable and he'd like them, but if he wants to, maybe we can work something out so he can have Mach 1 seats in his car again. At a minimum, I'm glad I got the headrests, and I'm just happy to save a set of Mach 1 seats. I thought that was a really historic '03 Mach 1 incident, something that you only hear about on the forums. You know, a story where somebody was just throwing them in the trash. One of them was already in there, and I came by and I saved them. So thanks for watching. I thought this was really exciting, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more Mustang content.